Select Committee on Trade and Regional Integration to commence business.
Thank you very much, Clark. It has been reported that the quorum does exist for the Trade Committee to commence business. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those not in favor, please say no. So the ayes have it. Thank you very much, honorable members, our committee clerk, and then welcome from the custom personnel to another engagement of the Select Committee on Trade and Regional Integration. We are just appealing for the 15 or 20 minutes late that we are supposed to start the meeting. So but it was more or less an organization that we were doing alongside with that. So each of us now, I think, is being served with the agenda. We can review the agenda and see whether we can adjust anything on it.
Yes, I'm proposing an amendment to the agenda.
Okay, thank you.
I propose that we amend number 3, to have GRA first, then later we have the review and adoption of the minutes.
Okay.
So that, we can quickly deal with them as they are being set up.
Sure. Okay, good. So that would be number 4.
Yes.
And then number 4 would be number 3. Okay, thank you. Accepted?
Noted, yeah.
All right, thank you. Is there any other issue that we could see on the agenda? And if I don't there's no other issue, can somebody move that we have the agenda with amendments?
Yeah, I move the motion we adopt the agenda with amendments.
Second.
Thank you. It has been moved and seconded that we adopt the agenda with amendments. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Thank you very much. As I alluded earlier, from the custom personnel, our meeting today with you is just to have an update and a follow-up meeting also, because if you remember, we once had a meeting here concerning about the ISRT protocol and other trade bilateral agreement between us and our neighboring country, Senegal. We still want to proceed on that, because as the committee intend to roll out on a tour to Senegal to see what also the committee can do in respect to the ISRT and the other bilateral agreements that our country has with Senegal. So it was been a while before we could come to a concept note, but as we are speaking, we have the concept note. But after hearing from you today, then we will see whether it's need for us to proceed with the concept note so that the committee can overrule. Thank you. So the floor is yours.
Yeah. Okay. Good afternoon, honorables. My name is Ali Kimbe. I'm Commissioner of Customs. On my left is Mr. Kiroso, also Deputy Commissioner of Technical Support and Monitoring. And next to him is Mr. Omar Facilitation and Facilitation. Thank you for what was happening. It's important that we give updates as to in terms of our arguments that we agree with Senegal, and hopefully the President Council meeting that was held a few months ago. As you have presented on the source, we have some documents, as the agreement we have with them, and also a codification agreement that we also signed with them in Senegal that was sanctioned by the two heads of states and was led by the former Minister of Finance. And we look at what we have. We have not only have implemented so far and what's left. And we can also report to say we have had heavy recently, when these DG of Senegal that we want customs, like that, was recently aware that the Director of Customs Senegal visited us last week. Most of the issues that were pending, in these agreements, which also were very partners. Where he pronounced that next 2 months, it didn't implement, and he gave an instruction in our presence to his delegation and asked them to work as fast as possible to make it happen. And that is the transit corridor for the city. That is goods that are going to transit from Gambia to Bissau or Conakry or Mali. Instead of being sent all the way to this guy's home. Now the office at City, which was the previous on Saturday Gambia, should be made full-fledged to be able to handle custom operations. And he has assured that the next 1 month will be done. On the side of the southern, that is the settlement also was not a full-fledged office. And he also promised that, by next month, the office also will be upgraded, staff will be posted there so that they will also have transit process. So those were 2 key issues that really was happening in our transit. And also we are adding the cost, representative in terms of your transit. So the other issue that is still pending is the agreement that we, as a country, when we agreed with ourselves at the president council that we should have an observatory body that will monitor the implementation of all arrangements or agreements in terms of trade, finance, and customs. And it should be led by the Gambia Secretariat, the Central Gambia Secretariat, and also Chamber of Commerce. They should be the one to lead those observations as to whether these arrangements have been implemented or not. But still now, perhaps not reported this last time I came here. That it looks like the people that are supposed to be the process are still not very active, so that we can look at what has happened, what is implemented, and what is left. Because if the 2 presidents will speak, I think outside whatever they have signed, should be seen to be really implemented. As level, and it was even the ambassador of Senegal said that everything that is on this document and signed by 2 presidents must be seen to be implemented. So I think I will just appeal for this important body, to urge the GCI and the Senegal Secretary to come here and give review as to how far they have gone, in terms of leading that process of the observatory body, for the implementation of the agreements. So I will stop here for the questions. For the meantime, Kim, can you supply them with the relevant documents?
Yeah, the thing is the age and the qualification is, this is the age.
Last time we supplied them with qualification.
Yeah, I think we supplied the qualification previously.
Okay, this one is the report, the bilateral meeting.
Yeah, the 8 and 9. So it is, if you read the 8th bilateral meeting, you will see recommendations there. Those recommendations, at least the expectation is that in the 9th bilateral, at least if not all of them are implemented, most of them should have been implemented in the 9th. But if they feature there again as unimplemented, then that suggests that something is not right. Yes. So that is a springboard for our argument to say that these things have been discussed, but they have not been implemented. But with the, like we said, with the
one is also an extract of the previous arguments. So these are
The memoir.
the
memoir.
yes.
This is very
It's domestic. The domicile is Minister of Foreign Affairs. We are able to have.
So this reports the
But
intent.
you have because you can still give them.
It's one of the qualification. This is the one that we are supposed to sign on. Yes. So
This one, the codification that we also did part of the draft. for the ISRT that is highlighted, we reported last time that we have another protocol called SIGMA.
Sigma,
That is
yeah.
going to which is already position of the ECOWAS Council, so it's going to see to that countries let's see also implementation of protocol. So at the end it's going to override the ISRT. And the implementation is advanced.
In addition to that, if I may add, the ISRT, there has been some development, because these are transit goods, and meaning that they have not paid duty. But now with this e-tracking, GRA has now implemented e-tracking system that tracks those ISRT and any other transit goods to their final destinations. You can see it live. If you go to GRA headquarters, you can see Farafenni, Amdalai ports, all the customs ports, you will see the activities. If a vehicle is entering from Senegal, you can see the vehicle actually, in live session. The number plate, all the information is there. So if you are in transit, you say you are going to Jiboro. This e-tracking, all the information is there, driver's name, telephone number, and everything. And even the time it is required for you to get to Jiboro, all things being equal, is stated. So if you have any reason to stop on the way, they will see you live that you have stopped. And if you stop unreasonably, they will call you on mobile to say you have stopped. Why did you stop? And the e-tracking is sealed in such a way that you are not able to even open that. So the idea of diversion is a foregone conclusion now with this new implementation. We have no issues with diversion now. And also, even if you try, you want to divert, they will call you. Because some of them who did not try, who did not understand initially, instead of going straight, they have decided to go some other place, and they were called to say, why are you there? Because you are not supposed to be there, you are supposed to be here. And in addition to that, we have a good, what they call a quick response team. If you divert, even if you divert, you go somewhere else. There is a team that will go there automatically. They will be contacted to go and see why you have gone, where you have gone. And you cannot open it. You have to use another device to be able to open, the seal. It's well secure.
Thank you very much. Yes, honorable members, any contribution?
Yeah, actually I will just commend them for the explanation. But the issue of the tracking, I am very much interested. You said it is very secure in terms of having access to it, to tamper it. Yeah, as we go along, is there any sustainability plan? Because as we all know, if they understand that now, yes, it is new, we cannot tamper it, but as they go along, don't you think they will be able to do something to see how best they can tamper such a device? Do you have any plans for that, to either improve the device or the security of the device rather? I think it's a concern because I believe right now it is new. They will not attempt to do anything with it. But as they go along, understanding that it is very secure, so maybe they might come up with another method. Yeah. Are you putting that into consideration?
Well, what is happening is we have already three cases of that diversion happening. And as we speak, we have a culprit, who was trying to divert, his vehicle that was in transit to Bissau, and currently, is in our net because the vehicle has been apprehended. As we speak, he is now with the fire brigade, giving a statement, and eventually, he has spoiled the device. So, in our course of act, he's going to lose one, the vehicle, which we are going to sell back with auction. Number two, he's also going to pay the device, and then he will be prosecuted. So the next 1 hour, he will be sent to the police now, and then given a bail. So we have 3 cases, of that, so far. And as we rightly speak, you are right also, we need to improve, whatever device you put in place, people will work towards seeing how they, they build it, in future, but we definitely have to improve, going forward.
Okay. Can I just make a follow-up question? As part of your communication strategy, is the information widely communicated to people that are currently doing or involved in such a process? Because they must be aware of why the device, and they must be aware that a device is on their vehicles so that they can be tracked to do the normal delivery as expected. Are you talking to them?
Yeah.
Do you have any consultation with them so that they will better understand? Like you said even the device is being damaged, the one that you got, meaning he has to pay for the device. You understand? And this thing also needs to be communicated to the public. The public should be aware that custom is doing this and is up to this level, so that the public can also understand that you people are doing something very, very important as far as your work is concerned. Don't you think so?
Okay, yes, to answer your question, you are right. Now, stakeholders engagement is critical, in all our processes and all our engagements. And it is even dictated, by the WTO or WTO on the professional agreement that, custom most seem to be engaging all stakeholders. So this single window e-track is a component of, has been developed, and then we have worked with all the stakeholders, from the work group. And as we speak now, we have almost 90% compliance, almost more than 90% compliance in terms of this single window and e-tracking. So they are very informed, and we will keep putting them as part of our sensitization programs going forward.
Just to add to that, to allay your fears about of course there is no perfect system anywhere. People, the more you come with innovation, people come with counter, ways to beat that system. But the e-tracking, the beauty about e-tracking, it has been tried and tested in so many countries, Gambia, and this is a PPP program between government and the people of the single window, company. So what happens is even if you touch the device, you attempt to remove it, you touch it, it sends an alert. You can see in the control room, there are 2 control rooms. One is in GRA headquarters, another is in Serekunda. And they are monitored 24/7. So you can see, yes, it is also linked to the satellite, So that is why wherever you are geo-spotted, exactly where you are. But the sensitization program also is part of a GRA wider program. We have a special unit for only taxpayer compliance and education. They go to the radio, they go to the television, they are in the papers. They have no other job other than, educating and bringing about awareness regarding our reforms and modernization programs in GRA. So this also has been part of that, for a long time, since the inception of the single window program.
Yeah. Thank you, Chair. I think we have to salute them for the briefing that they have done. And we can see to it that they are very cooperative in terms of the committee engagement. When we last met them, they promised to provide certain information to us, which they did. So I believe they are on track, and as the device is concerned, there's a way forward in terms of monitoring to see to it that the funds that should be generated by GRA should not go in mess up, or should not go in vain. So what is important, as you said, there is no system that is 100% good. But I think monitoring should be done to see that the perpetrators, anybody who is found wanting, let them be brought before justice and let something be done. Because if not, at the end of the day, if GRA loses in this revenue collection, our salaries, our operations, our development will all fail. So we all need to be very cooperative and see to it that something is done for our country. The second part of it is big the chair asks, the chair put to you that this select committee is endeavoring to go on a tour to visit Senegal. Yeah, and I think it will be also important to visit these sites also, these locations, both the southern and the northern, where these devices are, to see how effective their operation is. So I don't know what was your last engagement with your Senegalese counterpart as far as the this ISRT is concerned. Yeah, that's my only question. Thank you.
In fact, even going to just before answering your question, when they came and then they saw, what we have, they were so impressed that they want to send a team of also on their side to come and study what we have already implemented. Because I see they said as far as Gambia, they said we are ahead of them in terms of automation. Which I really accepted because for them physically you have to do everything physically with them to clear a container from their systems might take you 3-4 days to be able to clear, and from one office to another, and you have to sit there and wait on the queue to attend it. So for us we do everything remotely. You don't need to go to customs for anything. At the long room, if you have time, I think you pay a protocol and then we take you through at the long room and also at our center to see what's happening. Remotely now, we are not interacting with business people.
Yeah.
You can do your things without going to any office until you have your exit note. Then you send it to somebody to correct your container. Whatever query you have, you can also respond to that query. On the in the system. And we have last week we have inaugurated like a tax tribunal that we need to look at we do some kind of check and balance. In the event you are aggrieved, there should be a platform where you can seek redress. And with that now we are going to go out all the way to Sensitive that whoever has anything to do with complaints about GRA in terms of whether you are being treated fairly, go to the tribunal which is totally independent of us, and then lodge your complaint and then it will be addressed. So for the ISRT, as I said, it's going to be operated by Sigma. Now what the Senegal has said is like they have formed a group, an observatory group, and also Gambia on their side we also have our group, we have already done. So it's now for us to meet and then work out the modalities of implementation and then write to ECOWAS and give them a state of readiness so that but ECOWAS is very, very slow. ECOWAS is also very, very slow in making things happen.
Yeah.
You have to knock their doors before they will implement the project, and they will move very fast with the project until halfway then they relax. So for us, we are the beneficiaries of this project. We are the ones who should get up now to make it happen. And it's more beneficial to Gambia than Senegal, because for us to have our transit in the system, that is not going to be interfered by any intervention. We pay more dividend to our transit and export than in Senegal.
And I think what e-tracking is doing, to appreciate what e-tracking is doing, if you have time, you can even come to the GRA headquarters and see live e-tracking in motion, and then that is when you will appreciate it even better. So that, and also the clearing agents, they were also taken there to show them that this is what happens. So wherever you are visible anyway. So if there is any need for diversion, you are thinking about that, I think that you should forget about it.
That's good. That's good.
Yes, I want to ask about payment of bills. Yeah. Is it still done physically?
It's like
if people want to pay charges on their goods, yes.
you don't need to come to GRA for anything. You can go to any bank, GTB or EcoBank or Access Bank. You also have banks, in the GRA. All the banks are there, but you can go to Senegal and you can go to anybody and pay you. You don't need to go to customs for anything. unless you want to. Otherwise, you can stay in your office and do everything until you have your exit load, and then you go and clear your books.
So all the banks are housed at GRA?
All the banks are housed at GRA, and they are also housed outside. So you have the option to pay anywhere.
Okay. How do they access the charges? Because they put their declaration in the system, and the system charges them. You know, how do you confirm that what they have declared is what actually they have?
We have the system that we have in Asco world is integrated in all the banks. The banks we have signed MOU with the banks, and now the banks are acting on our behalf. So everything that you have as charges, when you go to EcoBank, you want to pay. The moment you have your reference number, if they put it in, they will see your charges.
What I mean is, do you confirm their properties or their goods physically, or they declare it themselves? This is what I have. You put it in the system, and the system charges you against what you have declared. So how is this been confirmed and verified that what you've declared is the actual quantity and the quality that you have, so that we can have the system charge you exactly what is happening?
Okay, anyway, the system is self-assessment. You import your goods, you have your bill of lading, you have your invoice, you have the description of your goods, and you have your own declaration to make. You declare your goods, and then you go and pay. Automatically, you have to go and pay. After payment, that's where document check, now starts. There's a team that will check your values. There's a team that will check, your compliance in terms of, description, the tariff nomenclature. Every aspect of whatever due diligence is needed is going to be done, behind the scene by officers that are sitting here and then, looking at all the entries. Once there is a discrepancy, both in terms of description, officers at the ports they will query it and send to the post, and that will require your container to be brought down and then examined 100%. That is in terms of quantity or misdescription. If it's values, the value office will also flag it and then query that you have paid your goods fine, but this is not the right good that you should pay. But instead you should pay it, and then you have to go and pay again. But the beauty about it is, like, number one, you have been given that leverage to do your own assessment, and then charge yourself, and then submit. But once we are not satisfied, then we query to say you have to do these additional charges, and then you have to go and do the additional charges.
Honorable Chair,
Yes.
I want to contest that.
Okay.
There is still a lapses when it comes to that, and it can be compromised. Very well be compromised. That vetting system should have been done prior to payment. But when somebody has paid already, and you want that person to go through a particular officer to check what has been worked on, whether it's correct or not, for you to go back and do another payment in the case of any discrepancy, there can be lapses. And these are systems, and when it comes to operations, for that one, it's not, in fact, it's not technical. There's no technicality with respect to this that we're talking about. There's no technicality with respect to that. You are declaring something which is supposed to be paid. But you do the payment, then after the payment, other issues are also checked on you, whether what you've paid is actually correct or not, which could have been avoided. For it to be a whole process, it is checked. Once you declare, it is checked. And they said what you've declared and what you've checked, what they have checked on the ground, they have reconciled and everything is okay, you go do your payment. But having done your declaration, self-assessment, you are charged by the system, you go do the payment, you come back for somebody to assess you, there can be lapses and there can still be compromise there. I don't know if they are looking at that.
Let me help. Just to help you, this Asura system, has been built and has been tailored, towards direct facilitation. And you have some profiles they call risk management profiles. You have post-clearance audit, built in the system. And this is the best practice that is applied by all other countries that is applied as Asura world. Gambia is not an exception. And this is a project that we have spent almost about $30 million. And it's configured already in this way, because we expect that everybody should be compliant. We give them the benefit of the doubt. We only act when there is non-compliance in terms of the procedures, in terms of the valuation, in terms of the execution. But we deem everybody to be compliant 100%. Unless otherwise, and as we speak, we are getting a very good number of compliance, or more than 90%, because they know that if they don't declare their goods correctly, they will query. They know their time will be wasted, if they don't submit the proper invoices and the proper documents. They know their time will also be wasted for having their questions to examine, 100% at the ports, where they will now pay laborers, where they will now, give more charges. So to avoid all those things, there's a very minimal number of people that are not doing the right thing. And that's the idea, of this trade facilitation that we are talking about. And it's configured this way. And, unless, we have to redefine the whole process, that might take us years again to come up with what we are suggesting. I think this is the best, thing for us to apply.
Yeah, I think what the Honorable is saying is a concern too. But I believe with my little engagement with the clearing agents and with the goods that we are clearing in ports, the system is so designed in a way that, do you understand, to beat the system is not easy. Because even those clearing agents who are to clear your goods, the system, the system that is put in place, they are under serious surveillance. So even if you want to manipulate the system, somebody somewhere, there is a level that will know that you don't tender the right thing, the process.
I know. Okay.
So no system is 100% good.
Yes, I know that.
But at least with this system,
let me conclude where I'm heading.
Okay.
And provided one day, when we call you here, and I don't want us to get to that level, for me to say these are proofs of things, as members of parliament, we don't just act as members of, but we do thorough consultation and research with respect to the work that we do. I don't want to get to the level to say these are the evidence of those things. But I'm bringing an alert for us to be so much careful of such things when it comes to the procedures. Okay? When you say this is what it is operating in other countries, in fact, we have more better laws than countries that are more developed than us. Do you believe that? They have bigger economies than us. We have more stringent laws than they do have. But the thing is the attitude. No matter what you do, Gambians are just Gambians. No matter what you do, they're just there and they're doing it, whether you know it or not. So, but what I'm saying, when they declare, after they have declared, somebody come and vet, I'm talking about the relationship between who declares and who is vetted after the payment. That's where I'm heading.
Yes, Honorable, I just want to help you.
Okay.
Briefly.
Okay.
The idea is of self-assessment. Like I said, every country has to align yourself to international best practice. The idea of self-assessment is an international best practice. But also, the foundation for everything is the law. Law is the basis of what you do and why you do what you do. You own your goods. You have to come and tell me that this is the goods I have. It may be true. This is a candle. It may be true or it may be false. I bought it at this $100. It may be true or it may be false. But now the system is declare to me what you have. You are under no duress to say anything. You came to me, you declare to me that this is what I have. But I also have an obligation to check what you declare to me, whether that is what it is. You understand? That is self-assessment. Self-assessment means that you have come to the computer system, you have done your declarations, you say this is the goods I have, they have come from this country, this is how much it cost me to bring it into this country, this is the value, duty, the invoice that I have for it. You have declared to the system. And automatically you put it into Asikuda. Asikuda will calculate how much you should pay based on what you have declared to the system. So now the system has calculated everything. The system tells you now that go and pay what you want to pay. This is how much you have to pay. Now, if I come to check again and realize that it is not what you have declared. Now you are under the grip of the law now. That is the way to get you. But not to pounce on you even before you. What about if we do that, the reverse side of it? We might not be there to be able to pin people down, but people have to come and declare willingly for themselves. And this is what the idea of self-assessment is.
That's good.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me just, I know you are a little bit not that much clear about what the system is built in such a way that it does the calculation before you even make entries. Taking an example of a vehicle. If your vehicle is more than 10 years old, you have, for example, 4-wheel, you pay like 60-something thousand. It's already built in the system. The system knows that the vehicle more than 10 years old, 4-wheel, it should pay 65,000. So now when you come, you make a declaration that this vehicle is, I'm going to pay like 60,000 or whatever. The system will flag that this vehicle should be paid 65,000, but this person paid 60,000. You see the difference. So that's where our people will go after. Find that you should have paid 65 instead of 60. But your declaration, you make that you should pay 60,000. It's like you put yourself in trouble. Before we ask you, you declare this is, but the system said no, you should pay this. This is the minimum you should pay. You should pay more than, but not less than. So that's how the system is built.
And there are a lot of parameters.
Anything you bring in,
Okay.
they have their values in the system. So you should pay that value or more than that value, but not less than that. So when you pay less than that, the system will say this person has to be followed. So we follow you to collect those differences. You know, that's how the system is built.
That's good.
But we can, what we do, what I can do, like next time we bring the system admin.
Yes.
There's one lady
Exactly.
who is the system admin.
Yeah.
And he can even explain this,
Yeah.
system better.
We also, the committee will endeavor to
Yes.
a conducted tour.
Yes.
So we discussed that before they come, and that's not that much
Say exactly.
Yes.
very much clear.
Clear, okay. Okay.
For the benefit of time,
That's right.
I believe in the system and I love the system very well.
Now,
Right? But I'm talking about a process somewhere, which, and at their level, I know, probably in their minds, they can be thinking about. You declare, you pay, we come and recheck. It's not a witch hunt to say whether you will do the right thing or not. It's to make sure you do the right thing. And before you put them on a trap, right, make sure they do the right thing first, where they will not fall. It's a deterrent from doing things that are wrong. Understand? And to have a right resources at our disposal. But not just to say, let's cut people who would do the wrong thing. No. So that's what I'm saying. Once you declare, after declaration, you do the payment. After the payment, another vetting is done, whether to see what you have declared and paid has aligned or not. Then if you are found wanting for not doing the right thing, then something is done. But you can avoid that to say, let's check. You declare, you do the payment.
Chair, I think customers is graduating.
yeah.
And I think, in trade facilitation, we don't want much delay. The process that is explaining about is too delayed. Do you understand? And in trade facilitation, there's graduation. Before that was happening. But, as the man talked, he said, now everything is remote. The world is moving forward. It's digital. Do you understand? So what are you talking about? Those checks that you're talking about, they are in the system that where it's developed.
No, you don't get me.
No,
I don't respect. You don't get my point.
Can I come in?
You did not. You did not.
Let me make my point.
No, you did not.
Yes, please.
Can I come in now?
No, you did not.
Okay, yes. Okay, now.
Honorable, you didn't get me.
Hello, Chair.
You didn't get me.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. I'm sorry I was here before you came, but I was just engaged somewhere. And sorry for coming late. Mr. Bayo and the team. My concern is still just align myself with Mr. Sise a little bit. And I think there are some lapses still now, which is ongoing, like members or businessmen or agents decline when there is textile and they said second-hand goods. You understand? And those things are still happening. In fact, it's even affecting at the GRA side, where they tell you self-assessment. I know what are my returns, what are my incomes. You understand? But I undervalue them, or my incomes I underread them. I give them wrong figures, and also at the customs, it's still happening. I don't know whether whether you detect that and there are mechanisms to address them. We know you are moving to the modern generation, but are you working towards tracking those ones, and what are the steps taken? Because I know some of the steps you can take, maybe even to link it with the freight, that's the insurance, because there when you are sending your goods, you have to insure them, and you have to declare whatever you are sending. So I don't know what are the mechanisms you put in place, but these things are happening. So, yes.
You are talking about declaring an undervaluation.
Yes.
We have a lot of things now, undervaluation, misdescription, but we are talking about undervaluation. We are not very much bothered about undervaluation, very much like people declaring their true values. Because customs, there is, we do our valuation based on WTO agreement on valuation, which is transaction value under the GATT system, which says that you have to use the transaction value. So what we are doing here is that whatever transaction value that we give us in respect to your invoice, if it is low, we have reference values that is baked in the system. Values that is baked in the system to say, if you bring us a container of a 40-foot container of whatever goods, if they are coming from China or they are coming from Turkey, they can be $1,000 or $50,000, but they cannot be below $20,000. So we have to be in the system, so that if you undervalue, you can never, undervalue below the reference value in the system. And once you are able to meet those reference values, then for us, we are satisfied, because it's well calculated to include a reasonable amount of the cost of the goods, the freight charges that we know how much they are charging, and also 1% of the freight and the cost that will from the insurance that is calculated in the system. So now the issue of valuation is a thing of the past. You come to GRA and we show you physically in our system, and that is why we are collecting what we are collecting. We have collected, 12.7 billion, 15.7 billion as opposed to our target. And despite the fact that these targets have increased, we hopefully with the system that we have, it will pay dividend. But the issue of valuation now is a thing of the past. Nobody can undervalue as we speak, because we have corrected the system to have our reference values back in the system. And if it pay less, it will tell you value not in conformity, in red. And then you will ask to pay the difference. Thank you.
I want to help you.
So I forget what you was telling me. Are you telling me you are driving at your value based on
Origin of containers, like you said, if it is coming from China, maybe this. But what I'm saying is, like, for instance, because I know a container 40 foot of textile is more expensive than a container 40 foot of second-hand goods.
No, then you talking about you spoke of two things.
Yes.
One was about valuation.
Yes.
And the other was about distribution.
Yes.
If you misdescribe your goods, you have textile and you say
you disclose on second-hand goods.
Second-hand goods. You examine, because if you say second-hand goods, remember that this system, if you say your goods are second-hand and they are coming from China, it will be flat. There are a lot of destinations and there are a lot of the kind of goods that you declare. The system will tell you, will send you red. You have channels. We have red, we have yellow, we have green, and we have blue. The system will send you for a physical examination automatically. Because it has a lot of parameters that will now tell the officer that you have not declared the right goods. A lot of parameters, the origin, the value, the weight, it have so many parameters, and these things are built in the system. That is the 6 cents. They have 6 cents. For us, we have 5, but they have 6. The system has 6 cents. So it will send you to red, and it will probably examine.
I just want to.
Containers coming from Europe.
Yes.
Let me tell you this. Containers coming from Europe. They are escaping, and they are giving a wrong description.
Yes.
But I'm just alerting you for you to go forward.
Yes.
And maybe, as I said, institutions improve based on their observations and work procedure. But I'm just putting these tips to you to be more observant. These are happening, especially not containers coming from China, containers coming from Europe. They give wrong descriptions of their goods within the container, and at times they put certain things which are brand new within the container, and they describe it as second-hand things, which they should have value individually.
We are getting so many of those things, and we are preventing them.
Exactly. So
we are getting so many of those things.
Exactly.
You know, like especially these personal effects containers.
Exactly.
Personal effects, you know, they are loaded at different areas, you know, and then you have so many kind of goods, you know, inside the containers. Even if you take the whole army and the whole police, you know, to go and examine the containers, they might not be able to do it. You understand? But we do risk profiling, risk management, based on the expertise of the officers as well as the system. So for us to come across, you know, those things is happening, and we will continue to, you know, improve whatever we have to make sure that, you know, we come that kind of, you know, all the time. So, but we are not ruling out that, you know, the system is going to be 100%. It's 100% no.
Because they detect this by the hours working with the insurance.
Yeah.
So when the policies comes, what they disclose at the initial of the insure, and when it is here, when we disclose, at times we find it different.
Yes, please. I just, like he said, there is no perfect environment anywhere. There is no perfect system anywhere. These are possibilities, they can happen. But the issue is what we want to tell you. If you recall, we were here the last time. I told you that if you have come across any of these things, GRA has got fund already there. GRA has got fund that we reward people for coming up with this kind of information to us. It's not secret. Whether you are a National Assembly member, you are an ordinary person in this, if you have come with this with evidence, be rest assured GRA is going to give you an awful lot of money, a reward, which is there, because that's the only way we can improve.
Really?
But misdescription that you are saying, this is candle, you have made this. You see, the moment a Secuda system is, the moment you put the code there, you say this is a code for candle 001, you put it in the system. You read it on the screen that this is a car. If that code is not candle, it is car. That is misdescription. The moment you put it in the system also shows you, because these codes are universal. The code for textile, even if you go to China, is the same code. So if you put it in the system, the system will show you the text that the code you have put there is this. So we are appealing to you, if you have come across with any of that, because this is not going to help. If you know and you are keeping about it, then it's not going to help us to improve. So in order to assist us also, come with this thing and you will see what is going to happen.
It's what we are doing right now. Inform you just thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members. It's been a very interesting engagement with the customers. But however, I would just like to remind the honorable members that the main theme of the meeting today is about the ISRT and also other bilateral agreements between us and Senegal. So we have our subject matter specialist here. I think you might have met him before. If at all you have never met him before, he is Mr. Job.
They are familiar with that.
Exactly, he's our subject matter specialist. Just SMS.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I'm sure it will arrive.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I think I want to find out about the extent of the e-tracking that you have mentioned. How far does it go? Because I remember during the last legislature we had a tour, and we went to the station where Abidjan is. Is it Farafenni? Diboro, I think, yeah. And then what happened was that they took us to the almost by the Senegalese border, and revealed to us incidences where Senegalese were apprehending goods that are meant for ISRT and offloading them there. And they have even given us evidences of things that they found on the ground that the Senegalese have done. They broke the seal and they'll offload the goods and tamper with them. And Abdul was making concerns about that. When I first I asked about how far does the your e-tracking get to? Does it get beyond Gambian territory to be able to kind of detect such incidences? And if it is not, incidences like that, do you still encounter them, or if you encounter them, what are you doing about them? That's one. Number two, the execution of the guarantee. You have mentioned GCCI. I know that GCCI was the guarantor, whether GCCI is still the guarantor. So is the GRA still monitoring the execution of the guarantee by the GCCI? I presume that once the e-tracking system is implemented effectively, then there will be less incidences where goods are offloaded internally. And the issue of the guarantee is the Senegalese, when they claim that goods have been offloaded in their territory, that's when the guarantee will be kind of executed. So I want to know what are you doing, or are you liaising with the GCCI in terms of the execution of the guarantee? And I've been following the discussion also about the issue that Mr. Cisse, Honorable Cisse has raised regarding the possible loopholes that may arise in self-assessment. I think I would applaud the initiative, which Honorable Shao has said, because these are all things that facilitate trade, to give you the leeway and the independence for you to make your own self-assessment, rather than going to the cumbersome process to declare your goods. But one thing that might be possible for me to align my thought with Honorable Cisse is that, and also my friend sitting right here next to me, is that Honorable Ba. There is a high possibility of wrong classification and wrong declaration, because for instance, in the past, there have been incidences where alcohol attracts a very high rate of duty because they are considered as luxury goods. I don't know whether that still exists. But I've been told in the past that there have been wrong declaration of alcohol as opposed to other goods. Because if I bring alcohol and I say it's not alcohol, it's that, I will pay lesser duty on that item that I am declaring. So I don't know whether the self-assessment is taking note to issues like that. Issues like false declaration and false classification of goods, as far as the SITC or the coding is concerned. Thank you.
Yes, okay, I think you've talked about the ISRT for the e-tracking force.
Yeah.
Yes, the e-tracking has come to solve a problem. The e-tracking, I think it has come to solve a problem. All these reforms that have been embarked, upon by GRA, is to mitigate revenue loss and to improve efficiency. The e-tracking has solved this problem of diversion by 99%. This means that all the goods that are bound for transit, when they are loaded at the ports and sealed, the device is attached to them. Those days are gone now where anybody will escort, any customs officer will escort any goods, going forward. There is no escort, we have elevated escorts. They are going on their own and being tracked. remotely. We don't only have a tracking system at the headquarters, but we have it at Dentigui. We have it at the borders of Senegal. We have it at the border of Djiboro. We have it at the border of Farveni. We have stations, all over the country, all at the borders, and it's only meant to make sure that they are monitoring, these cameras that are coming in and they are going out. So the issue of, like goods being dropped is over. We have, since we implemented this e-tracking, we have had only 3 cases. One, was the guy, wanted to just take the shortcut. He was supposed to go to Casamas, but Kafunti. But in the system, he was tracked to be exiting through Senegal. But because of when he asked, they said like, it's easier for you to go to Djiboro than to go through Senegal. So he decided to come through Djiboro. And then the geo mapping was showing that he's diverting. And then we were telling the vehicle. We sent our enforcement team to go and to go to the Mandaba and wait. And as soon as he came to the Mandaba, so instead of like continuing to Combo, we saw him take Mandaba Road, and then he was going to Djiboro. So we knew he actually was not attempting to divert. The other case is what I just reported now. So for the issue of diversion, is a thing of the past now. We are not having any cases in terms of containers that are meant for transit and are being diverted. So that one is a thing of the past. For the GCI, they are still the guarantor, but there is also other arrangements on the ECOWAS and West African countries. For the implementation of the SIGMAT, we will definitely have a national guarantor, a regional guarantor instead of a national guarantor. So when it is implemented, GCI will no more be our guarantor, because there's already a draft text and a draft regulation, at the ECOWAS level. We all have a copy, and it's about to be finalized. That we will see, national guarantors being put aside, and the regional guarantors will take over. So, but at the same time, we are the ones now collecting the fees, on CIF, for the government, GRA.
I'm sorry, just to come back again. I mentioned the issue of the distance.
Yes, perfect.
Which your e-tracking covers.
And go beyond
the interstate transit helps us as a country in collecting duties that are paid on goods and then loaded to third countries, to Mali or Guinea-Bissau. It helps the transit trade, goods in transit. If we have any disturbances in the flow of goods to get to their destination to third countries, then I suppose that could affect customs revenue. You understand what I'm saying? Because if the goods have already paid duty and they are loaded in truck, destined to Mali or Guinea-Bissau or wherever, then if any disturbances in the course of their journey could affect us as a country. So this is the claims that Abdul and his team made to us when we visited them. I'm asking, because since it was a concern, when this assembly, the trade assembly, the trade committee decided to go to Senegal to meet the customs counterparts or the National Assembly counterparts to make sure our goods are facilitated without hindrance to get to the third countries. Now I'm asking whether the e-tracking, does it go beyond our jurisdiction or only it stops in Gambia, so that it will kind of alleviate or stop incidences like that, or track incidences like that, so that we can have a case in point. Like Jeng has raised it. I don't know whether when he raised it, does he report to headquarters so that they take note of it, and then in future when GRA meets their counterparts in Senegal, these are the issues that they raise. So this is my concern, because when we decide to go to Senegal, these are the kind of issues that we're going to raise, because we don't want no hindrance to duties, to goods that are meant for third countries, to be tampered with.
To clarify that question more, is that our system, this e-tracking, it is geomap, and but it limits us as a country at the point of exit. That is the frequency, can go above, beyond the border. But we terminate, the e-tracking at the point of exit. If it is Farafene, it's Karaib. That's for, if I underline, it's at Karang. That's where it terminates. So we terminate our device and then remove it, and then the rest, is left now to the Senegalese to handle. But as we reported, before you were coming, then we have positive, outcomes during the last, meeting of visit of the DGs of Senegal. That going forward, transit, will not be taken to Guinea-Bissau. But they will proceed direct to Umpak or the South Domingo, to Guinea-Bissau. So we are foreseeing that, going forward, definitely with this new administration that has taken over, we will definitely have a smoother, operation in terms of transit. So, but for the goods now, we can only terminate, at the level of the border. And this problem that you are talking about, in terms of, whether the Senegalese are going to handle our goods without impediments, without what they call NTB, non-tariff barriers, I think, with the implementation of the SIGMAT, will be eliminated because everything will be done remotely. Yes, when you generate a T1 from the ports, there are stops that it will stop, and then it is controlled remotely. Nobody is going to interfere with transit until it gets to its destination.
I just want to clarify, if I may.
Yes.
No. The tracker, is it an object you put it inside, or is a software? Because what we want to understand, or a device. So it's a device.
Yes.
So if it is a device, like for instance, it reaches to Gibon, is where our jurisdiction ends. Is the device going to be removed?
Yes.
And the vehicle goes?
Yes.
Okay. In between, who is responsible to remove it?
They are there. The officers they are there. Whose job is just to remove?
Yes, just to remove.
Yes.
After removing it,
yes.
So the tracking disappears.
Yes.
Ends.
And
what comes next?
No, it's not our jurisdiction.
No, but is it when it crossed our border or after just at our border? Is it after when it crossed?
When you get to the Jiboro border, when you get to the Jiboro border, and now you remove the device, and now it's heading to Siliti. And where can that vehicle is it? Because what you have now is 100 meters no man's land. So what are you telling me?
And again here it comes. You don't want to say power crops, absolute.
Yes.
Whenever you are powerful, you must be corrupt at times.
Yes, yes.
So now I'm the manager per se at the custom there. And it used to happen, but it's a pass now because we are developing now.
Yeah.
If I remove, okay, it has reached the border, it could be a teamwork. Anything could happen. If it reaches the border, I remove the device.
The vehicle can make a U-turn.
Who remove the device?
Is it the customer who is going to remove the device? So that's why I'm asking, who is responsible to remove the device?
That one is the company that we have signed this PVP.
Yes.
The single window.
Yes.
They are the ones who are going to remove this device. And it is to our interest. And all other stickers, present at the border to make sure that vehicle must go. We trusted our officers and then place them there to do their work. And unless we can say, let's close that border and sack all our officers, then we assume they will do what is expected of them to make sure that vehicle, allow the vehicle to U-turn in the presence of the single window people, the customs, the SIS, everybody else. Then that means, then we should close that border.
No, it's not about closing the border.
Yeah.
But most of the time, wherever you see some malpractice, there must be a teamwork.
Anyway, we have not come across that.
No, I'm just, all these things,
yes,
we are foreseeing. Whether it could happen or it could happen. We just try to brainstorm. So, the question is not about, it's about getting more knowledge about how it works.
Where exactly Mr. Bai was talking about is quite a little bit different from that. That when the goods or our clients have goods here transiting through Senegal to their destinations, when they have challenges along the way, they put it to your attention, and you complain to your counterparts in Senegal for them to be taken care of. Perfect. And you intervene into that. So do you have a problem with them also telling you, we are moving to a sole destination, but immediately you reach the borders of the country where you're leaving our jurisdiction, the tracker is removed. Now, don't you have business with them offloading before they reach the destination that they have suggested they were going to? That was a kind of an issue he was trying to raise. It might not necessarily be people torn in from that end and trying to go to that place. But now, they tell you we are going to solve this. But now they go, leave your jurisdiction now. The tracker is removed. But before reaching that destination that they have claimed they were going to, Bissau, and before reaching to that place, they offload.
Offload where? Senegal.
Whatever place, I don't want to say.
Don't be Senegal. Don't be Senegal. Senegal, transit arrangements is that when your goods exit your country, your responsibility, stop there.
Okay, now,
yes.
Why are you intervening?
Yes.
When your vehicles are disturbed, when the clients that leave your country to their destinations, when they are disturbed, where do you have complaints about that?
No, the problem is like, you have your country, and the people that are doing business from your country, their interests should be safeguarded. For them to drop goods, beyond your borders, that will be another country. That one they will take care. But for them to experience, ill treatment on their way, if they complain and there's evidence, we definitely have to call out and say, this complaint that we are receiving, and we believe, we are not doing it to your guys, so we expect that you guys also will facilitate the trade. And then we talk about it. We have been doing that, in the past. At the borders, we talk to them, and then, they facilitate. But we are looking forward that, with these arrangements that is coming to happen now. Most of those things, we'll address definitely. This is a new administration that has come, and we have a very good rapport with them. They were people that we have worked with on the field, as officers interacted, so many times. And now they are the one at the helm. Dr. Mbaye, is a close friend, and the deputy also is a close friend, and we are talking. And that is why when he came, with all these agreements that we have done in the past, in terms of our bilaterals, in terms of our aid memoirs, they were pending. But he came and said, all these things will be implemented within a month. That's what we must applaud, and then, we look forward to see.
I just wanted to say quickly, just 2 minutes, about the misdescription. You see, self-assessment is not synonymous. Self-assessment is not synonymous with misdescription. Self-assessment just means that this is what I have, here is it. It is our duty to check. You see, if people misdescribe, this is tractor, you say this is a canoe. Let's not forget that we have a scanner at the port. All containers pass through that scanner. And you have stakeholders who sit down there to check everything that you say is in this container. Is this what is in this container? The scanner shows and they read it, except, like he is saying, those who are doing the scanning there, you don't trust them. Then it becomes a very difficult situation now. Because nobody trusts nobody, then the business becomes stalled.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, so, but this...
demonstrated.
Yeah, this, but whatever we...
I know.
Trust me, frustration is so much so that, until something is done, but, we know that that much trust it happens to us as leaders. You can see how people, electorates criticize parliament, even though they are on the right thing, because governments went to so much so that they are so frustrated that, we don't trust each other anymore. But when it comes to stakeholder by stakeholder, that has to be eliminated. But the critics that we do is just to ensure that we have better systems in place as stakeholders and counterparts, like our pay committee chair always said. We are two sides of the coin completely inseparable. Right? But we must make sure that when you bring us issues, that we criticize very well, so that we can invoke certain things to ensure that you also, we can go to parliament and give them whatever we want to give them. And to be honest with you, we really do our very best to ensure that we have better systems so that we can collaborate with you and give best things to Gambians. But to be honest, we trust you people. We definitely trust you.
We accept your criticism.
We are just, it's not that we cannot improve. We cannot improve.
Because this committee and the custom or the government institutions, we have to work hand in glove so that at least we can move this country forward. Yes, it's not about...
These things happen.
Yes,
I told you the last time we came here, we said we find some people $600,000. Now automatically you misdescribe, he knows. You misdescribe, you come, it's detected, you pay 600,000 straight away. Yeah. So we are appealing to you if you have evidence of that, not based on speculation, but if you have evidence of that, bring it to GRA, and I can assure you, you will be rewarded for the information that you have brought here. So let's help each other now.
That's no whistleblower protection in the Gambia.
Yeah?
If you do that here, until there is a law, it will not protect whistleblowers. Otherwise, you put yourself.
For us, we are getting.
No, customs has laws.
The laws about that.
Yeah, customs has.
But the first thing you have applied is having the tribunal.
The tax tribunal.
Yes, that's a very good move.
Yeah, we need to sensitize the people so that people take us to court.
They're not aware of it.
So I've been there many years ago, but you appoint the judge. The judge is supposed to be a high court judge. He's supposed to sit over. But sometimes they appoint them, they have international appointment. They are not there. So you will have to come back again, reconstitute it. That has happened, I think, 2 or 3 times. Hopefully, let's all pray that this one.
That was a good move.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, honorable members, and thank you very much, Commissioner Bay and your team. Now, as we alluded earlier about the committee's intention to meet our Senegalese parliament and other stakeholders in the trade system on the ISRT and other protocols. So what would be your footnote or your guiding notes to the committee on that direction?
My guiding note would be to holistically look at, things that we have agreed, particularly, in the aid memoir, which comprise of agreements both on the side of trade, on the side of finance, also on the side of the GRA customs, to make sure that they are implemented. Because when the executive, agree, I think that should be implemented. And also, you can also talk to this transport union, for them to also to tell you the kind of hurdles that they are encountering, in respect to their relationship between the two sides, so that those things can also be noted down. And for us on the side of the GRA, we have supplied you with this information. And if you further have anything that you think you need more clarification, we can put it in writing and then give it to you, so that you can. Generally, for us, we believe that for two countries, to work well, we definitely have to respect each other's all the elements, how to be respected, rather than we accepting and then they.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. I think the best thing is the commissioner might help us. It will be in the write-up. That will give us a guide, even if we are going. Because the clerk, maybe he might miss some of them. But when you are at your comfort zone, you can put this right up for us. And who is taking care of the bill for the talk? Because I think it's custom who is taking care of the bill. Yes, it's taking care of the bill. Because when we go to Senegal, we go to meet the assembly, we go to meet the customs, we go to meet the transport union, and we are even going to meet their trade industry, that's GCCI, and also the ministry. So I think maybe it can pay a big dividend. So custom is taking care of the bill, and we want the write-up from Mr. Mbai to guide us.
No, to be frank with you, it's intended to go is they will.
No, don't use your mic.
Yes.
Don't use your mic.
Exactly.
Yes.
Wait, let me off. So you are okay now?
Yes.
Can I off it?
Yes.